Today, we're talking about the early years of my musical journey. What's up, everybody? My name is Stello Clark, and this is another episode of Talkback Talks, a musician's perspective on life. If you want to hear more about what to expect here, check out the first video that explains what this series is all about. With everything that I want to do here, I think it's important that you guys know a little bit about me and where I'm coming from. That way, when you watch these videos, you'll think, this guy kind of knows what he's talking about. Or maybe you'll think, this guy doesn't know anything at all. But that's kind of the beauty of this whole thing. You guys get to watch and decide for yourselves how you feel and make your own judgments on it. Anyway, let's get into it, shall we? I actually owe a lot of my musical beginnings to my sister. I first started playing music at 5 years old when I took piano lessons because my sister took them. And I'm sure a lot of you can relate to something like that, doing something because your older sibling did it. And also because it's probably easier for your parents too. On top of that, I grew up going to a K-8 art school because of, you guessed it, my sister. See, our school had an arts program that you had to audition for to get in. And my sister's always been a really great singer, so she got into the school, and I was basically grandfathered in because she was there. In the first grade, I picked up the violin, and by second grade, I had switched to cello. I had a buddy named Zach who played cello. Plus, I just thought cello was cooler, so it was a no-brainer. Fast forward to the 8th grade, I've been playing cello for quite a few years now, but I was looking for another musical outlet. My friend Ed, who plays piano, had started producing music, and I was also becoming more and more interested in learning the guitar. So for Christmas that year, my parents bought me my first 2 guitars. The first one is a first act electric, which I actually still have, and I've made quite a few modifications to. And the second one was a first act acoustic, which unfortunately I don't have anymore. That was also the same time I got a multi-track recorder. If you don't know what that is, it's basically a little box that allows you to record multiple instruments on top of one another to create one piece of music. It's especially useful if you're a solo musician and you don't have band members or other people to play on your songs. If I remember correctly, it was a Boss BR600. One thing that I do remember clearly is that the music I was making was terrible. But it was the start of my production journey, and that's something I'll never take for granted. That was my first foray into songwriting and composition. It was the first time I was able to take an idea from my head and materialize it into something tangible. Now, I'm going to get into a little bit more of my journey, but first. So if you don't know, in every video I have a segment called Today's Tie-In, where basically I tie a comic book idea into the theme of the video. Like the journey of growing up and discovering my passion for music, today's tie-in is all about diversity of interests. I love superheroes. It's literally in the name of my band. But I also love anime, and if you know anything about anime, you know a lot of characters and stories take place with a middle school or high school setting. So, in the comments below, let me know your favorite middle to high school aged anime character. It could be a protagonist, it could be a side character, because we don't discriminate. Mine is Yusuke Urameshi from the show Yu Yu Hakusho. Okay, back to the video. So when I got to high school, I think that's when things really started to pick up. I was playing guitar still, but I was starting to take it a little bit more seriously. I was taking lessons, or really more so just kind of learning a few things here and there from the guitarist at my church. I was still playing cello in the orchestra at the county and state levels. Plus, I was really getting more and more into recording music, live and in the studio. I spent a lot of time singing and writing songs in the studio with my cousins, and that's where I cut my teeth learning a lot of my early writing and production chops. I would sit silently for hours watching them work, and then I would take my notes, go home, get on GarageBand, and start working on my own things, comparing it to what I had seen them do. I also took a recording technology class at my high school where I learned about recording techniques and patching live sound, how to listen to records critically, and a bunch of other stuff. As I've gotten older, I found myself going back to a lot of those lessons, even to this day. High school is also where I started to open up as a singer. Kind of. As I mentioned before, my sister is an incredible singer. but while we were growing up, I watched her have to sing everywhere we went. I mean, it didn't matter. Anywhere we went, somebody would ask her to sing, and it was just always a thing. Seeing that so much, I decided that would not be my life. I mean, my parents didn't even really know I could sing until my senior year of high school. But all that being said, by the time I graduated, I had also picked up bass guitar and drums, all in the interest of not really needing to rely on other musicians to get my ideas out and record my own songs. And I think that's where we'll stop for today. There will be a part 2 to this video, so be on the lookout for that. In the meantime, let me know if there's anything you want to know more about that you think maybe could deserve its own video. I tried to keep it brief and give the Cliff Notes version of everything, but like I said in my last video, I'm definitely open to hearing what you guys want to see from this channel. Shameless plug, there's a link to my band's music and all of our social media platforms in the description. It would mean the world to us if you guys could go check that out. You know, if that's something you want to do. If you like this video, please consider subscribing, liking, sharing, doing all the YouTube clicky stuff so that you don't miss what we're doing here. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, there's only one you in the whole world. So take care of yourself. God bless. And that's a wrap.